Usually they're pretty quick, so I might be starting now. How you guys doing today? Good. It's crazy. I got to play against Tua and Waddle and those guys when they were at Alabama, and it felt like they could have scored 70 that day too. It was the most nervous I've ever been as a play caller. It just felt like that at any moment that team was going to score. They actually held them to their season point low. They scored like 38 points.
All right, Deb, you got the first question today?
Ryan, just after watching the film, I guess what were some of your takeaways from Friday night?
Yeah, we obviously came out super flat, which was surprising to me, just given the history of that game in particular, and what was at stake in the week's preparation leading up to kickoff, and then came out at halftime and started the way I thought we would have started the game. So message to the team was like, right now we are both of those teams. We are the first quarter team and we are the third quarter team, albeit as different as they may seem. And we have to decide, who we want to be consistently. And if we choose to consistently be who we were in post halftime, which was aggressive and competitive and all the things that you want in a competition, then we have a chance to be a good football team. And if we don't, if we are cautious and try to fill the game out with the rest of the schedule that we play, like it's going to be hard to win a game. So was happy with the way they practiced yesterday and the approach they've taken already. And like I've been saying from the start, I do believe this team will just continue to get better as the season goes.
I was going to say 1-3 star, obviously not what you guys want. Just how do you guys get better and turn this page?
Yeah, I mean, you got to take a step back and sort of look at big picture. Obviously you don't want to be, nobody wants to be 1-3 to start a season. But you look at the opponents that we've played, and the chances we've had in the games that we've lost, and just the improvement from week to week, just on understanding scheme and not having like mental errors and mental busts, and continuing to develop positive practice habits and winning mentality and all those things. So you don't want to panic with the start, but you definitely want to urgently fix the things that you need to fix. And so we're doing that currently right now. Not wholesale changes, but like tweaks here and there to continue to improve the program.
So Illinois staff and players well, they know you well. How does that kind of work in your preparation? Do you have to be a little bit different than what you think they might expect, or do you think they're doing the same thing?
Watching their film now, like I haven't watched their film all season until, we played Friday. I watched their tape Saturday. They have changed a little bit, as have we. You want to cater and tweak things to be conducive to what your roster is capable of doing and what they're good at. There still is a lot of familiarity, like I can tell with what I'm seeing on tape. And obviously I got to go against Coach Lunny every day in practice for a spring and a fall. So there are some similarities there, but there are also a lot of new faces in that program as well that I wasn't there for. And so, I ran through the scouting report from a personnel standpoint for our offense and just talked about who the guys were on defense and what they were good at, and what to expect from a structure standpoint. And then watching their offense, their good guys have been their good guys for a while, and I think Coach Lonnie does a good job of trying to get his playmakers the ball in space. So there's definitely familiarity there. But at the end of the day, like, we got to worry about what we are doing and how we can improve, so that we can go out there and compete our tails off on Saturday.
Ryan, regardless of Illinois and your ties to them, I think you feel like this team just needs to beat somebody and kind of flip the script. Is that kind of how you go in? It's one win away from possibly flipping the whole season.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that was also one of the messages we preached on Sunday. You know, we get to get the guys Saturday off, met Sunday and watched the film and then practice. And so the team meeting was, you know, was very candid and very honest about where we are and what we need to do to go to where we want to go. And just that, you know, you never know when greatness is around the corner. You never know when a streak starts. You know, there's every great team, every great program has had a beginning of something special. And, you know, there is some outside and added storylines because of the nature of the history between myself and Illinois. But at the end of the day, you know, we need to win a game. We need to win a game at Ross-Ade. We need to win a Big Ten game to right the ship and to start turning the tide in our favor.
I saw that the team is, I guess, officially dedicating the Tiller Tunnel this weekend. Just how much did you know about Coach Tiller before you became a Boilermaker?
Not a whole lot. Obviously, like I didn't know a whole lot about Purdue in general. You know, I grew up in the mountains of Colorado. You know what I mean? Spent the majority of my life in the West Coast region. Obviously, knew who Drew Brees was and was a big fan of his as a high school quarterback. But once I got the job, really started doing some digging and diving on who Joe Tiller was and what he means to this university. And so, you know, very proud to be in a position that he once filled. And you know, he definitely has set the mark of what it means to be a great football coach here at Purdue University. And my hope is only to you know, one day be mentioned in the same breath as him. And that would be a huge honor.
Ryan, what do you think this team's offensive identity is?
Yeah, you know, I think we are good at. I don't want to go into like specific on scheme because, you know, obviously teams will like start working on those things, right? But I think we know who our playmakers are. I think we have a good idea of what type of schemes our offensive line is good at. I think we're understanding how HUD sees the game and what type of plays he likes to run. You know, when we get first downs early in drives, it seems like we score points, and so the emphasis moving forward would be like we got to get that first down, because when we do it goes with pace. When we play with pace, it keeps defenses on their heels. And we're able to attack, you know, on the ground and through the air. I think we run the ball better than people give us credit for. And I think we got running backs that are good and probably need a couple more touches.
Yeah, speaking of the running backs, what will the plan be as far as the use of those guys? And do you think maybe it should be a two-man rotation?
You know, I don't know if two-man, because I still think Dylan is also very capable and has a role. I think the three of them complement each other well. You know, I think Tyrone is playing lights out right now. You know, in offense and on special teams, like he really has been a bright spot for us. I mean, every time he's got the ball in his hand, something good happens. You know, Maccabee, as you guys have seen, is hard to bring down. You know, we fixed the ball security issues from the Syracuse game, and he's hard to bring down. You know, his big run the other night was negated by a holding call, and you know, those penalties really they stall drives, and so we got to clean up that for sure. But you know, I think, you know, we've got listed Tyrone and Maccabee as or starters, and that's sort of how we view them.
You know, the offensive line sort of struggled to protect.
One can't know everything.
Will there be any changes there? I noticed there's an or between Musa and Daniel Johnson. Just sort of talk about the offensive line. How do you think it's played so far?
You know, obviously having Gus back in the lineup really helps. He is a really, really good player. And I think it calms everybody else down around him, just the way he communicates. You know, we moved Kaltenberger to guard at times to see how he fits there, and to be honest, still trying to find the right mix of the 5 guys that will do the majority of the playing. I think Marcus Bowe is playing at a high level at tackle, and like I said, we are understanding what type of plays they are good at running, and are trying to do more of those.
Is Ben Freehill back this week?
Yeah.
And then
No. Sorry, you said Freehill.
yeah, Ben
No.
Freehill. He's listed at the top of the depth chart. I wasn't sure if he was back or if Macias was going to kick 2 field goals again this week.
Yeah.
And then just the, I guess you talked earlier about the slow starts. I mean, well, what can you do to start quicker, Ron? I think I added it up. I think you're getting outscored 76-48 in the first half. I mean, well, what can you do to charge it up and come out and get on the board?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've had discussions on, do we take the ball if we win a toss to try to kickstart it? We started on offense first at Virginia Tech, but then we started on offense first the other night. It didn't go so well. I think part of it is a mentality standpoint and coming out the gate like ready to attack. I feel like right now at times we still are looking around wondering, like, are we as good as we think we are, or like, am I going to make the play, or is my buddy next to me going to make the play? Instead of just playing a game and playing it with aggression. Football in its nature is an aggressive sport, and so if you're not aggressive in your approach, you'll get hit in the mouth, and we've gotten hit in the mouth in the games that we've lost, especially early.
Any other questions for Coach? Sam?
You've seen this from both sides now, but how big of a deal is that Cannon for winning that in a rivalry game with a traveling trophy?
Yeah, anytime there's a trophy involved, it's a big deal. You're playing for something more than just a mark in the win or loss column, and so that's something that we've talked about and preached. Like, the Cannon has to stay here, and we will do everything we can to make sure that happens.
Just obviously Luke Altmaier can move a little bit, he's mobile. Just how much emphasis are you going to put on stopping him in the run game?
Yeah, it just depends on how much they try to use him in the run game. He'll have a couple design runs here and there, but I also don't know like what they think of their backup situation. And so you've seen like the last couple games him not running as much, but we'll definitely be ready for it. They're going to try to do everything they can to win a game, and I'm sure using the quarterback will be part of that.
Any more questions for Coach? All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.